never slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness.
It was superb up the inside, he really is good there, which is great, but that's the first corner, not the last. And that drags the other guys into the slipstream very effectively. So it's Brian Iriarte takes up
in fourth place now.
Yeah, he did a 1:49.5, half a second slow.
How many riders went so wide there? You just saw, I think it was Mounsey who went up the inside of everybody once.
The lead from Veda Pratama.
So heavy on the brakes, and it's really steep downhill.
Slower than Iriarte and Co up front. Well, in fact, a full second slower than Veda Pratama.
Morelli, so that was the point I'm making. You know, fastest rider on track, but you've got to make some passes as Mike Yu goes on into turn 4 there. You can see the rear wheel of Iriarte is just popping off the ground momentarily.
Utama, so they've got to find some pace as Carter and the rest of that second place group if they're going
to the gravel there. Well, Morelli will certainly make a pass there because he goes up the inside of him. He's alongside David Gonzalez. As they now come into the fastest sweeping section as Guillaume Plonk, first rider to
have any chance of catching this trio with 11 laps to go. There's time in it, but they're not doing the pace at the moment.
Is now yesterday's second place finisher.
And great to see that 45 of KJ Moynihan
have a long lap penalty for exceeding track limits. He's in 20th spot at the moment. That'll move him down. So, as we look down the order, David Gonzalez,
18-year-old South African there at the back of that group. He's learning a lot, running a faster pace.
Likely to last.
Right, and as you were talking about, you know, using up your tyres too.
There's another new name as well. He's battling up further than he qualified.
Than I've seen him all season.
Brilliant stuff from Mondignane. Come on, that's the kind of improvement we like.
Much. These Pirellis are really superb tyres. They do drop off. The performance does fade away.
He qualified 12th position. He's only a couple of spaces ahead of that, but he's still a lap 50 to see as well. As we look back towards the front, Dinesh overtakes Mounsey.
Slightly, but it's very, very predictable. So the guys can feel what's happening and...
that chasing pack, I should say, as Benyat Fernandez is recovered. Number 7 now in 7th place. The rider making big improvements for their second year. Up through Arrabbiata 2 we come. So it's...
Usually doesn't give them any nasty surprises. It's Brian Iriarte that leads, but up the inside now it's...
as well. And it certainly wasn't a flash in the pan. A one lap speed from Ramos Iriarte then. The series favourite coming into this year, who is leading the way, but not for long as Benyat.
So David Gonzalez there on the number 11 into second place.
I think I saw Christian Daniel for us. He's in 5th place still, so a bit of a recovery from that early lap. Fernandez tries to go up the inside, fails that time around.
And you saw there the 13.
You're pushing Marco Morelli rather wide there in towards the penultimate turn, and there we have the getting bullied out the way, I suppose.
And Veda had a nasty moment there. I think the front sort of tucked. He'd almost hack him, Danish. He's in the hunt there very much in 5th place, just ahead of Veda Pratama.
The weave-in, riders trying to avoid the other riders catching too much of a slipstream. Morelli up the inside of Daniel again.
Lost it. He's recovered okay, but he's lost ground. It messed up his corner speed and his drive out of the...
Christian Daniel in 3rd there, lurking. That's where he started on the grid. Just slots it there, goes a little bit wide onto the green then, so he might himself have a track limits warning.
So he's obviously pushing the limit there because he got himself into a bit of a trouble in that tight left hand.
He would dearly love to come away with the win. He feels so good this weekend, as we saw in the pre-show. But they have officially been caught by the others. They've now got Car pushing on their tail, Car pushing moving up the inside, potentially. What can you say about Brian Iriarte, Pete? I mean, if there was anybody who had massive pressure on their shoulders yesterday, but the problem is 16 other odd riders trying to do certainly of Morelli, but also potentially Daniel as well. Not quite, as we see Morelli coming into this year. It's surely him, you know, runner-up in the championship last year, only just as we're seeing exactly the same thing.
And as we discussed yesterday, nobody, you know, showing any kind of...
Push wide now by Benyat Fernandez moving up the inside. Dinesh side by side. This is Veda overtaking Dinesh there through one of the fastest.
Advantage. They're still not lapping quite as quick as they did in qualifying. So in theory, they can go quicker.
With Morelli in the background too.
So Uriarte leads from Gonzalez.
Sections of the circuit. That really took a lot of bravery there.
That did. Absolutely impossible so far for anyone to break away. Let's see if Uriarte. I wonder now if Gonzalez has got with the fellow Spanish one, if the two. And he did it beautifully, didn't he? Yeah. Absolutely superbly.
But as I was saying with Uriarte, I mean, it's one thing.
Uriarte can do it. He's a little bit further ahead of the 70 of Christian Daniel Jr. Spanish can make a break for it. They've got the slightest advantage over Veda Pratama in foot third.
To come in your rookie season and shock everybody with no expectation. But what do you do when there is that expectation? Well,
could hold the advantage, and he's very good at the end of the straight here, but they're picking up the slipstream. They're going to catch him. They're close.
But they were half a second slower last time around than Karpushin, Peter. He's harnessing it, and he's doing very well with it at the moment.
Well, that's right, and of course he was caught him already. He goes from first to where going into the corner. He's
Slavian rider, Kyrgyzstani rider, sorry.
Yeah, look at this. You know, when that incredible group of guys at the front of the cup last year, everybody except him has moved up to go. He's got back to third, fourth place. Up the inside is Benyat Fernandez.
He pushes
but he stuff side by side. And hard on the brakes, the back end of the KTM hopping around Moto3, but he's still too young, even with the 1 year dispensation for being in the top three.
And it's going to be Mounsey who leads coming out of San Donato then, but for how long will Benyat Fernandez get him on the cut back?
Around there as Brian turns it into the first right-hander. And at Rookies Cup, he's not old enough to ride in Moto3, otherwise he'd be in the GPs now. So the side by side.
Look at that. Ooh. Brilliant. But Sully gets it back straight again. Go on, Sully.
Agostinelli has got a long lap penalty.
Yeah, that'll be a track limit.
There is that expectation that he really should be a notch above these guys.
Some of that. Go on, yes, there. That's that was
move over.
Brutal, but brutal thing as well. And it'll probably be, Pete, surely that it'll be the final corner where there isn't really a lip. It'll be but you never know with Rookies Cup, do you? You turn up and someone else has taken a big old step. But fair, well done, Sully. That was as aggressive as it can get.
Too wide.
He goes wide. First turn as well. That'll be where these riders are getting caught out. But well, we're looking at two of them as well. Hakim Danish and Veda Pratama going with Uriarte. Way wide, he's got to cut it back on there. Oh, and then he's alongside Benyat Fernandez again.
And he's gone from side by side then on the brakes. This is where Brian was so late yesterday and won the race. But this
Uriarte at the moment, this is really impressive from him. And the gap to fourth place is incredible.
First all the way back to like sixth place just in one corner there.
Oh, goodness me. Well, that was
time is Gonzalez who gets underneath him to take the lead.
Racing, Peter.
And there goes Veda up the inside. He did it at the same place, and he looks over it. He must have got into the wrong gear or something coming into that left-handed. I don't think it was just, well, maybe